After their exciting adventure through the forest, with the guidance of CJ and the speed of their new spiritual monsters, Griffey and Jimmy, Maria and Alan are finally on their way to Blue Haven. "Maria, see that smoke over there?" CJ, flying on Griffey's back, points to the white smoke coming out of a tree further in the forest. Trying to keep her eyes open as the wind is too strong for Maria to see, she responds, "Huh? Oh yeah, sure. That's Blue Haven, we're almost there." CJ smiles. Maria, unable to contain her excitement, shouts to her brother Alan, who is riding Jimmy down below. "You hear that, Alan? We're almost there." Maria almost loses her balance, but CJ catches her, and Griffey adjusts himself so she wouldn't fall. Alan, in his own little world, did not hear what his sister said, but was just imagining an invisible man running alongside him. Only now, he wasn't invisible anymore. In fact, he was a kid just like Alan. As Alan rubbed his eyes to make sure what he saw was true, he looked again, and the boy was gone. CJ landed Griffey on the ground as Jimmy and Alan caught up to them. "Guys, there was this boy running in the wood. He had brown hair and blue eyes just like me. His hair was shorter though." CJ laughs. "Oh, that's probably Eric, but right this way." Their noses were filled with the scent of fresh wood and burning firewood as CJ led them through the shrubbery and into the hidden town known as Blue Haven. Griffey and Jimmy transformed into their smaller forms, and Maria and Alan could see that this small community was made up of hard-working people who were all working together to build cabins, shelters, and other necessary structures. People who looked like they were half animals, known as the Anima tribe, walked around with heavy loads of lumber, tools, and other materials needed for construction. The air was filled with the scent of freshly cut wood, mingling with the aroma of smoke rising from the chimneys of the cabins. The town was surrounded by tall trees, and a small stream ran through the center of it. The sound of the stream's gentle flow provided a soothing soundtrack to the bustling community. The sounds of birds chirping and a gentle light breeze added to the peaceful atmosphere. Some were busy tending to a small garden, while others were gathered around a fire pit, cooking food and chatting. The people of Blue Haven looked content and at peace, and Maria couldn't help but feel a sense of calm wash over her. It was a far cry from the chaos and danger they had faced in their journey so far. CJ introduced them to Dexter, the founder of Blue Haven, with a warm smile and welcoming demeanor, who offered to give them a tour of the town. Dexter explained that the people of Blue Haven were all mages who had come together to create a safe haven where they could practice their magic and live in peace. As they walked through the town, Maria and Alan noticed the cabins were built in a style that seemed to blend seamlessly with the natural environment, using materials from the forest and creating a harmonious balance between man and nature. They also noticed that many of the people had animalistic features, such as ears or tails, giving the impression that they were somehow connected to the forest around them. A beautiful woman with silver hair that seemed to shine even in the shaded area, and her eyes were emerald green. "I see you enjoy the decor of the building. I made them myself," she kindly said to Maria. "You made all of this?" Maria wondered if she had the same magic as Annabelle. "Oh, I'm Maria." "Pleased to meet you, Maria. My name is Annabelle, and I'm glad you and Alan arrived safely," Annabelle said with a smile. Alan was looking around when he felt someone poke him in the back. When he turned around, it was the boy he had seen running through the forest. "It's you, that kid," Alan remembered. "CJ said your name was Eric, right?" The kid smirked. "And you must be Alan." "Wait, how did you know?" Alan asked. "I heard your sister yelling at you," Eric responded. "Hey, want to go into the woods?" "Do I?" As the two boys ran back into the woods to play, Alan expressed his excitement. "Alan, we just got here," Maria yelled, only to realize Alan wasn't listening. "I see you already met Annabelle," CJ stated. "She was the one who brought me here." "Oh, is she your relative?" Maria wondered. "No, I'm from another tribe, but I found him wandering around this forest, so I brought him here to help, even though CJ prefers to rough it out," Annabelle chuckled. "I didn't realize there were various tribes of elves," Maria then asked. "So, Annabelle, how exactly did you make these buildings?" "I assumed a mage with similar aggro magic as I would know right away," Annabelle said softly to Maria. "I could teach you if you like, Maria." Annabelle led Maria into her hut, a cozy little place tucked away in the trees. As they stepped inside, Maria couldn't help but gasp in awe at the sight before her. The walls were lined with bookshelves, filled with volumes of all shapes and sizes. Jars of various herbs and powders were arranged neatly on a shelf, and Maria could smell the faint scent of lavender and mint wafting from them. In the center of the room stood a large desk, covered in notes and pictures depicting intricate sketches of the human body. Despite the clutter, everything was arranged with a sense of order and purpose, and Maria could tell that Annabelle had a keen eye for detail. The hut was cozy and warm, with a small fireplace crackling in the corner, casting a warm glow over the room. Maria couldn't help but feel a sense of comfort and safety as she looked around. She knew that she was in the presence of someone who was knowledgeable and skilled in the ways of magic. As Annabelle walked over to her desk, Maria couldn't help but feel a twinge of curiosity. She had always been interested in magic and felt that Annabelle had a lot to teach her. As she watched Annabelle carefully examine a small vial of liquid, Maria cleared her throat. "Annabelle, this is incredible. How did you learn all of this?" Annabelle smiled kindly and said, "I've spent most of my life studying magic and the natural world. It's a passion of mine, and I'm always eager to learn more." Annabelle then grabbed a book from her bookshelf, an old tome with worn linings and pages that crinkled as Maria opened it. The handwritten notes inside the book caught Maria's attention, and she carefully read the title, The Druid Grimoire and Everything You Need to Know, by Osric Cinewolf, the Noble. "Is this for me?" Maria asks while going through the book. "Yes," Annabelle said with a smile. "It's a good book to start our lessons with." As they settled down at a little table with cups of tea, Annabelle asked, "Do you perhaps know your capabilities with your powers?" "What do you mean?" Maria is perplexed because she has never tried to see what she's capable of. Annabelle giggled. "Well, that answers a few of my questions. Maria, there are actually 3 ways anyone can learn magic. The first method is the simplest. If one or both of your parents can use magic, you will be born with the natural ability to do so as well. You would only need to learn to develop your abilities further, along with some basic understanding of how magic works." "Oh!" Maria wasn't expecting to learn anything so soon, but is now excited that she has this opportunity. Then there are those who have parents who don't have the magical sense, which just means their child won't be born with it either, Annabelle explained. "But that doesn't mean they can't learn it." "Wait, I thought only certain people could learn magic," Maria said, wondering why there are people out there who hate anything magical. A common misconception to those without the magical sense. A lot of people only believe what they see, so they close their minds to the world around them, Annabelle said as she pulled a seat for Maria and offered her tea. They both sat down at the little table Annabelle had. What people don't realize is that with a little training, they too can feel the energy of magic around them. In fact, everyone uses magic every day. How? Maria sipped her tea. "Whenever you get a tummy ache or your head hurts, what do you do?" Annabelle asked, and Maria responded by placing her hands on her belly and head. "Right, and do you know what that does?" Maria answered Annabelle's question by shaking her head, excited to learn. "It's a way to heal those areas. Now, why would someone who claims they can't do magic do this with their hands? Surely it won't help, right?" "Wrong, it's their bodies reacting to something that's hurt. It's a little form of healing. To teach these people, you need to have them learn to feel the magic inside of them and around them, to develop that magical sense." "Wow, we need to let the world know," Maria exclaimed, charged up and wanted to teach everyone how to use magic. "Unfortunately, that's impossible. Too many people out there are closed-minded. If they tell themselves they can't do it, then they can't. It's a mind-over-matter thing that could cause more problems than solutions." Annabelle continued to drink her tea. "So, what's the third way to use magic?" Maria asked, making Annabelle smile. "The third way is actually pretty interesting. Maria, do you perhaps know the story of the blue flame?" "I heard it had something to do with a dragon," Maria replied, unsure of her answer as she had only heard rumors and backlash about her eyes. Annabelle laughed. "Well, I won't bore you with the whole story, but there was this man who had incredible powers. He gave his life to create this blue flame, which turned into a dragon. By the time this dragon passed, its energy had been infused with that of the group of warriors trying to kill it. This very energy that gave you and your brother blue eyes." "Please, Annabelle, tell me more about the blue flame." Maria is now eager to learn more. "Well, let me finish my explanation, as it relates to what I'm going to teach you." Annabelle laughed as Maria finished her tea quietly. Now, how does the blue flame relate to the third way one can learn magic? Well, if one gains magic from an outside source, it can influence their magical power. You were born with magic outside of your parents, and you were born with blue eyes that mark that. Those who gain magic from an outside source usually can't control their powers, as it's an unnatural way to learn magic, and you would need to learn balance to control it. The only problem with teaching someone like this is the teacher needs to figure out where the student needs to learn. What do you mean by that? Couldn't you just start from the beginning? I could, but say you control fire. Fire is a destructive power, and if you wanted to create a little ember but created an inferno instead, it would be important to learn how to limit your power. But couldn't that happen to anyone? No, those born with magic or those learning magic can only use as much energy as their bodies let them. Those who gained magic from an outside source have the limitations that the outside source presents to them. As Annabelle and Maria continue their talk, Alan and his new friend Eric are in the woods playing.